All right, g'day, hi, and welcome. Okay. Uh, I'm about to do something that I don't know what I'm about to do. Okay, I've become, or I'm in a position right now where my credit card debt is down very, very low. And most of my credit card debt, since I've gotten my credit card a couple of years ago, has been for musical instruments. Now, I do not recommend going into debt for musical instruments. But hear me out now. The thing is that the plan I have obviously is based upon the income I make. For me, it's easier to buy something and pay it off than it is to try to save up for it, because something always, you know, pops up, breaks, and I got to fix it, and this and that, and life, right? So where when you're committed to it, you have to pay it off anyway. You know what I mean? Like you're committed to it anyway, and it's easier for me to put money aside for Murphy than it is to try to, just save that money, because it'll get taken away by some sort of Murphy thing, right? So I've been playing the bass now for, well, again, to recap it's like my drumming. Like, I've been playing and dabbling in drums and basses, since high school. In high school, I was in the high school music class. Half the semester I was on the drums, half the semester I was on the bass, and they had a really good old Washburn 70 or something like that. It was a very popular Washburn bass. They had two of them. One looked there was a Guild bass that looked like an SG, and then there was a Washburn bass that was from the 70s or whatever, but it was like a neck through. It was a really cool four string, really good, like amazing bass, right? And after that, I don't even think I have maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes worth of songs on stage with a bass. I've only played a bass a handful of times on stage. And, at jam nights or whatever, or maybe during a gig, hey guys, let's just switch each other's instruments for fun. You know what I mean? I've done that, you know. So this is my second bass technically, but this is my first real bass, right? And by real bass, I'm not talking about multi-$1,000 bass. I'm talking about, like some people say, well, there's not a real bass. It's just a starter bass. It's a real bass. It's a real bass. I mean, if I hand this to Billy Sheenan, he's going to make it sound like $1,000,000. It might not be his forte, but he can play it well and everything like that. So this bass is good enough to do the job. It's nothing special. It's not the best sounding bass. It's not the best playing bass. It's a bass, right? It'll do the job. People won't be impressed by the sound of it as much as how well you play it. And the better you play it, the better it sounds, right? So I'm at that point where I've recorded with it enough now. And what I find is, because the pickups are a little bit on the weak side, they are a passive pickup, but it does have an active fat switch, which actually kind of gives you some pretty good oomph, but I find it over peaks the signal when I'm recording. So it doesn't give me the clarity and stuff like that. And because the scale length is 34" and not a 35" there's not enough tension on that low B, which then makes it a bit flubby in the mix. So I know I want probably a multi-scale bass that can handle the lower tunings and handle the lower string, like the low B string and stuff like that. But I also think I want a 6-string bass. Well, I've wanted a 6-string bass right from the get-go, but I thought I'd start with the 5 and whatever. A 4-string is kind of like that'd be like my third bass or something like that. Something just, oh look, I got a 4-string for the sake of getting a 4-string. As a rock guy, metal guy, whatever, 5 and 6-string I think makes sense for me, just because of the sonic ranges you can get with it. Jocko only needed 4. Yeah, but Jocko's son plays a 5-string, and I'm sure Jocko and guys like him, I mean, he was right at the beginning. His career kind of ended right at the beginning of the 5-string fad. You know what I mean? Coming in. So a lot of guys didn't transition. But if he was still alive, he'd probably be playing the 5 and 6-strings. You know what I mean? Like, there's no doubt about that. Whether they'd be fretless or not, I don't know. But I will say this. I do believe it is time for me to upgrade basses. I'm not going to get rid of this one. I'm going to make another video about why you should have inexpensive instruments and stuff like that around for professional musicians. But I do believe, this bass is going to teach me a lot more and everything like that. But I also believe that this bass is, I'm ready to upgrade from it. That I don't feel like I'm like the best bass player in the world, but I feel like, okay, I can play this bass the best it can be played. And that to me sound, okay, well, what am I looking for in my next bass? Well, what this has taught me is that I need the longer scale length. I know that for sure, for a fact. If I want to go with 5 or 6 strings, doesn't really matter. I need that longer than 35-inch scale like 34-inch scale is just too short to get really sharp sounds out of that low B. So I know I need that. I know I need clearer, better sounding pickups, and I know I want 24 fret. So this already kind of eliminates 90% of the basses on the market. I know pretty much the top 3 basses that I'm looking at. One's a Dingwall. Well, I'm looking at a couple of Dingwalls, but it's like what I take this one over this one over this one. If it's a 5-string, it's the Dingwall D-Rock with that kind of purple bluish color. That one's so nice. Which I think is the cheapest. No, it's not the cheapest. No, the Sire M7 6-string. That one there. That one looks really nice. And then of course there's the Dingwalls and that and whatever. But there's also a couple of Ibanez's that look really nice too. So we'll see what I end up with. But I'm at that point where I think I'm ready to go that way and get the professional bass. I hopefully get a bass amp this month or next month. We'll see what happens. But yes, I'm ready for the upgrade. There we go.